First, let's just talk about the sheer scale of it all. The material we're looking at makes a pretty stunning claim. If you group all non-believers together, they are the fourth largest belief system on the entire planet. That is a huge chunk of the world's population. And this chart really puts that into perspective. Right behind the world's three biggest religions, you've got this massive global group of non-believers. It's just a striking way to see how widespread this worldview really has become. And when you start looking at specific places, the numbers are pretty eye-popping. In England and Wales, over a quarter of the population reports having no religion. And then there are the surprises. A poll mentioned in our source found that even in Saudi Arabia, 5% of people identify as convinced atheists. And in China, that number jumps to about half the population. Now, a lot of this recent growth is tied to the new atheist movement. Figures like Richard Dawkins and the late Christopher Hitchens. And while they've been incredibly successful at getting their ideas out there, their whole approach has also stirred up a lot of criticism. And not just from religious believers, but from fellow atheists who really don't like their rhetoric. And if you want to see that internal tension in action, just listen to this quote from the atheist philosopher Michael Ruse. He argues that what's needed is a serious debate, not what he calls knee-jerk atheism. It really highlights a deep split inside the movement itself. So where does that leave us? We're back to this fundamental question. Is atheism this clear-eyed path to enlightenment, all based on reason and evidence? Or, as our source puts it in its final words, is it just an intellectual mirage? Well, one thing's for sure. The whole conversation about belief, disbelief, and what it all means, it is as alive and as heated as it has ever been.